First tonight on Our News Live at 7, we hear from one of the nation's top economists who says the S&P report projecting an economic slowdown shouldn't come as a surprise. And statistics reveal crime is down. Now a crime consultant is speaking out, calling for collective responsibility. Plus, the sound of vacation. How the Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board is helping visitors take the sounds of the Bahamas home with them. And then in our news at 7:30, shining a spotlight on being left in the dark. Grand Bahamians upset after hundreds of homes experienced multiple power outages this weekend. All that and more. Our News Live at 7 starts now. Welcome to Our News Live at 7, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Marlena Leonard, in for Candino Knowles. The latest economic outlook on the Bahamas from ratings agency Standard & Poor's has sparked concern from members of the opposition after it projected a slowdown in our economy and called our long-term growth performance below average. I spoke with one of the nation's top economists who says the findings and projections shouldn't come as a surprise. Let's take a look.
It didn't give a bad story about the Bahamas. It didn't give a good story about the Bahamas. It had some cautionary notes about the Bahamas and reflected what most of us already know.
There have been some strong reactions to the most recent S&P report on the Bahamas, as the report predicts our economy will slow to 1.8% this year and pointed to us having a below-average long-term growth performance compared to similarly developed nations. Lang offers this explanation.
Our economy, rising out of the pandemic, was in recovery, had a rapid recovery. That recovery is slowing, so the economy is slowing, going back to normal times. Pointing out that we are likely to have a slower growth in a year or two doesn't say anything for the Bahamas, because if you look at our growth trends over the last decades, you will see 1 year you grow, 1 year you grow slower.
As for those who've called the report's view of our economy bleak,
I don't see it as bleak because it needs some analysis, right? The fact of the matter is the Bahamas has a more mature economy than many of the economies in the region. And by mature, I mean that we have been functioning at the level of dependence on services aspects of the economy, financial services, tourism, and services dependence is a largely a characteristic of more developed economies.
Still, Lang acknowledges that there is much work to be done.
That our long-term growth prospect remains far too modest to be able to take care of a lot of the unemployment that exists in the country, the sense of dwindling prosperity people feel in the country in light of rising cost of living, and a sense that younger people have that there isn't a lot that's likely to happen to increase my optimism about being in this country.
When asked if he feels government should be concerned about the report's findings,
if the government wasn't concerned before, then yeah, the report might be something to prompt concern. But if the government is aware of the circumstances of the country, then it should have been concerned before now.
Well, following the release of recent statistics that reveal crime is down overall 6% when compared to last year, a crime consultant is speaking out. Carlos Reed says that the drop in crime is good news, but he believes there's still a lot of work to do in order to get a better handle on crime. Reed says there needs to be a collective effort across every agency and pointed to the number of people on bail for violent crimes.
Our records show that there are currently about almost 300 persons that are out on bail for murder. So we can't say that the police are not bringing people to justice. We just need a collective responsibility. We need the courts, we need the police, we need the Attorney General, we need everything working in synergy. And this does not negate the fact that the community needs to be involved.
But what can be done to address the issue? Reed had this response.
Not just putting somebody out on bail, but put stipulations. If the police know that somebody is prone to be able to reoffend, then let's connect with the Attorney General's office and tell the Attorney General office that when this person go to court, let's make sure that there are stipulations. There are provisions in the Bail Act right now for persons to be assigned curfew, that their geographical location could be catered.
A 24-year-old man is behind bars after being accused of molesting his niece. The man, who cannot be named, faced 2 counts of incest when he stood before senior magistrate Shaka Serville. Prosecutors say he molested his 12-year-old niece in October of 2023. He allegedly sexually abused the same girl in April 2024 when she was 13. The man didn't have to enter pleas to the charges and was denied bail. He's next due in court on November 12th to receive voluntary bill of indictment papers. Well, now for your first look at temperatures, meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg?
Hey, thanks, Marlene, and happy Monday evening, everybody. Did you get to go outside?
I did.
It is warm out there, and it's still warm. Temperatures are still in the 80s, 86 degrees with few clouds. Winds out of the east-southeast at 8 miles per hour. Your field side temperature very, very warm, 97 degrees on the outside. Temperatures around the islands right now, it's 85 in Freeport. You have some showers nearby there. Also in Great Harbour Key. 86 is Alistown, Bimini, Nicholstown, Andros, Governors Harbour, Marshall, Barbacoa, 84. Down in central Bahamas, 87 in Kemps Bay, that's a real warm spot there. 84 in Arthurstown, Cat Island, Coburn Town, San Salvador, pair of 85s in Georgetown and in Deadman's Key and into the southeast Bahamas. 85 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, 84 is Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, Delectable Bay, Matthewtown, Inagua, 83 in Abrahams Bay, and our good neighbors to the southeast, Tricks and Caicos Islands. You guys are 86 at this hour. Satellite and radar composite. I don't even know if I got to tell you this story. There's nothing out there. There's just a big ridge of high pressure across us that's keeping us with abundant sunshine, very warm temperatures. Heat indices getting into the triple digits. We don't even have any measurable rainfall to relieve some of that heat. And we're going to continue this trend through at least Wednesday or Thursday before we see a return in some moisture. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, October is National Youth Month, and over in Grand Bahama, they're gearing up for some exciting activities. Plus, the sound of vacation. We have the details on the Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board's newest initiative, putting Bahamian music and Bahamian musicians in the spotlight. That's coming up when Our News returns.
Hey y'all, are you ready to be inspired? I am thrilled to announce that Inspire Her 2024 is coming, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever. Join us at the luxurious Atlantis Hotel Paradise Island on October 10th for an evening filled with inspiration, empowerment, and connection. The evening session promises to offer exclusive networking opportunities and transformative discussion. We invite everyone to attend and to be part of this incredible gathering. Hear from leading women activists, entrepreneurs, CEOs, thought leaders, and more as they share their stories, insights, and wisdom. Tickets are now available for purchase through the Alive Events app. Corporate packages and vendor opportunities are also available, providing a unique platform for businesses to showcase their support and connect with a diverse audience. Grab your girlfriends, mark your calendars for October 10th, and join us at the Inspire Her 2024 Women's Conference. See you there.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. A legendary icon whose influence has impacted generations of Bahamians, Keith Parker, has died at 92. A National Hall of Fame member renowned for his contributions to track and field, Parker's connection with the Bahamas began at the 1958 British Empire and Commonwealth Games, competing for England. At those games, he was introduced to Thomas A. Robinson. The following year, he made the move to the Bahamas in 1959 and became fully ingratiated into Bahamian culture for the remainder of his life. Parker taught several subjects at Government High School, and in his days as a competitor, he represented his adopted country in the West Indies Federation Games and held the Bahamian record in both the long jump and javelin. In addition to track and field, he also represented the Bahamas in field hockey, badminton, darts, and squash. His lasting legacy will be as a world-class track and field coach. At the Olympics, he served on 4 national team staff from the 1984 games in LA to the 2008 games in Beijing. The 2023 WNBA Finals rematch got off to a favorable start for Jonquil Jones and the New York Liberty. Jones posted a double-double, 13 points and 12 boards in her Liberty's 87-77 win over the defending WNBA champion Las Vegas Aces Sunday afternoon at the Barclays Center. New York took a 1-0 lead in the semifinals with Game 2 set for Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Jazz Chisholm Jr. produced career-high numbers in the 2024 season. Obviously, it's not done yet. There's still a postseason run in October. But he excelled in the spotlight of the largest media market in the MLB. The season was, of course, highlighted by his trade from the Miami Marlins to the New York Yankees, but Chisholm's production made him one of the fan favorites in New York. In 147 games this season, he hit .256 with 144 hits, 245 total bases, 24 home runs, 40 stolen bases, 73 RBI, and scored 74 runs. All of these numbers, 8 different stat categories, are new career highs for the Yankee infielder. That'll do it for Our Sports at 7. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
Thanks, Ronaldo. Well, October is National Youth Month, and over in Grand Bahama, anticipation for a month packed with exciting activities is high. Minister for Grand Bahama Ginger Moxie emphasizing the important role young people play in the future development of the nation. She says this month highlights the work of young people.
On one hand, they represent the future of our great country. On the other hand, we recognize that there are some outstanding youth and youth leaders who are shaping a brighter future. They embody the values of empowerment, compassion, and even social justice. That unwavering dedication serves as an inspiration to all, reminding us that young voices have the power to drive meaningful change and create a better tomorrow. Youth Month serves not only as a reminder of the critical importance of young people as agents of change, but it also is an opportunity from a government standpoint to address the concerns facing today's young people.
Deputy Director of Sports in the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, Norris Bain, says several initiatives are on the calendar, from the annual Youth March and Parade to Youth in Parliament, a speech competition, and a Youth Recognition Award ceremony. Now, while these events are highlighting young people, the entire community is encouraged to attend to show support for the future nation builders.
Youth Month will kick off this coming Friday with a Miracle in Music Youth Explosion right there at the Susan J. Wallace Center at the Columbus Park. We're going to have music. There'll be a little bit of refreshment and entertainment. There'll be youth groups that will be performing. We're going to be going to church, of course, the following Sunday right after the Miracles in Music. On the 6th, we plan on attending, being with Simeon out there on the 6th. And so we're inviting all youth groups, youth leaders. We know you have church. A lot of people have their own churches, but you that have early church, come on, later church, come on out and support, because Simeon starts at 9.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world, as Hezbollah's Deputy Secretary General says a new leader will be appointed. Plus, Russian President Vladimir Putin warns the West that Russia could use nuclear weapons if it were struck with conventional missiles. And the mammoth cleanup task underway in North Carolina after Hurricane Helene knocked out power for millions, destroyed roads and bridges, and caused dramatic flooding. We have the details when our news returns.
Hey y'all, are you ready to be inspired? I am thrilled to announce that Inspire Her 2024 is coming, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever. Join us at the luxurious Atlantis Hotel Paradise Island on October 10th for an evening filled with inspiration, empowerment, and connection. The evening session promises to offer exclusive networking opportunities and transformative discussions. We invite everyone to attend and to be part of this incredible gathering. Hear from leading women activists, entrepreneurs, CEOs, thought leaders, and more as they share their stories, insights, and wisdom. Tickets are now available for purchase through the Alive Events app. Corporate packages and vendor opportunities are also available, providing a unique platform for businesses to showcase their support and connect with a diverse audience. Grab your girlfriends, mark your calendars for October 10th, and join us at the Inspire Her 2024 Women's Conference. See you there.
My name is Trevor Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. Internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a lot.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Hezbollah's Deputy Secretary General says the group will appoint a new leader at the earliest opportunity to replace Syed Hassan Nasrallah and vowed that the Iran-backed movement would continue fighting Israel. Qassem's 19-minute televised address marked the first by a top Hezbollah leader since Nasrallah was killed on Friday in an Israeli airstrike, in a huge blow to the group as it reels from an escalating Israeli campaign of attacks. Qassem said Hezbollah's fighters had continued to fire rockets as deep as 93 miles into Israeli territory and were ready to face any possible Israeli ground incursion. President Vladimir Putin warned the West that Russia could use nuclear weapons if it was struck with conventional missiles, and that Moscow would consider any assault on it supported by a nuclear power to be a joint attack. The decision to change Russia's official nuclear doctrine is the Kremlin's answer to deliberations in the United States and Britain about whether or not to give Ukraine permission to fire conventional Western missiles into Russia. Putin, opening a meeting of Russia's Security Council, said that the changes were in response to a swiftly changing global landscape that had thrown up new threats and risks for Russia. An 88-year-old man who is the world's longest-serving death row inmate has been acquitted by a Japanese court after it found that evidence used against him was fabricated. It ends his family's search for justice after a wrongful conviction for crimes committed nearly 60 years ago. The Shizuoka District Court cleared Iwao Hakamada in a retrial of the 1966 murders of his former boss and his family. Hakamada spent 45 years on death row before a court ordered his release and a retrial in 2014 amid doubts about the evidence. Although he briefly admitted to the killings, he retracted the confession and pleaded innocent during his trial, but was sentenced to death in 1968. Since his release, Hakamada has lived with his older sister, who battled for decades to clear his name. And a huge cleanup and recovery effort began in North Carolina on Sunday after Hurricane Helene knocked out power for millions, destroyed roads and bridges, and caused dramatic flooding from Florida to Virginia. Gabe Singer reports.
Areas of North Carolina hit hard by Hurricane Helene began a huge cleanup and recovery effort on Sunday. The storm has plowed through the southeastern United States over the past several days, destroying roads and bridges, knocking out power for millions, and causing massive flooding from Florida to Virginia. A Reuters tally of state and local officials Sunday evening put the death toll from the storm at least 90 people, with officials afraid more bodies would be discovered. Video from Friday showed streets in the picturesque city of Asheville submerged in floodwater. 30 people died in this county alone, according to the sheriff. Governor Roy Cooper called the storm, quote, a devastating catastrophe of historic proportions. George Carter was among those Reuters spoke to on Sunday, still reeling from the storm.
When you turn the corner and you see your community just full of buildings and trash and floating boathouses and floating homes, it just sort of takes your breath away. And it was scary.
Property damage and lost economic output will become clearer as officials assess the destruction. But over the weekend, insurers and forecasters said damage estimates range from $15 to more than $100 billion. A U.S. Energy Department official said roughly 2.7 million customers throughout the South were without power on Sunday. In Flat Rock, North Carolina, there were widespread blackouts, and people waited hours in line for gas after the storm caused disruptions to fuel supplies.
When you can't get gasoline, you can't go anywhere.
The White House said President Joe Biden and Vice President and Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris plan to visit affected areas this week, once they can do so without impeding the response effort.
Trinidad and Tobago's Minister of Health, Terence Deyalsingh, was robbed recently while speaking with a constituent in the St. Joseph area where he's the Member of Parliament. Media reported Deyalsingh was sitting outside Nyamingi's bar at about 5 p.m. when two men with guns held him up and robbed him of his bera, a traditional Indian-style gold bracelet, before getting into a car and escaping. A video circulating social media showed the MP sitting outside the bar speaking to someone on the phone whom he called Minister, recounting the incident. Still to come in our news, today in history. Find out interesting facts about the day that was September 30th. And then in our news at 7:30, residents fed up with significant power outages on the island of Grand Bahama after a weekend with hours in the heat and in the dark. And overall crime in the country may be down from last year, but many residents tell our Delvardo Emmanuel they still don't feel safe. That's coming up when our news returns.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
Hey y'all, are you ready to be inspired? I am thrilled to announce that Inspire Her 2024 is coming, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever. Join us at the luxurious Atlantis Hotel Paradise Island on October 10th for an evening filled with inspiration, empowerment, and connection. The evening session promises to offer exclusive networking opportunities and transformative discussions. We invite everyone to attend and to be part of this incredible gathering. Hear from leading women activists, entrepreneurs, CEOs, thought leaders, and more as they share their stories, insights, and wisdom. Tickets are now available for purchase through the Alive Events app. Corporate packages and vendor opportunities are also available, providing a unique platform for businesses to showcase their support and connect with a diverse audience. Grab your girlfriends, mark your calendars for October 10th, and join us at the Inspire Her 2024 Women's Conference. See you there.
On this day in Bahamian history, on the 30th of September 2000, at the Games of the 27th Olympiad in Sydney, Australia, the Bahamas won the gold medal in the women's 4x100-meter relay. The team that ran in the final consisted of Sabathita Fines, Chandra Stirrup, Pauline Davis-Thompson, and Debbie Ferguson, finished in a time of 41.95 seconds. Aldise Clark-Lewis, who ran in the first heat and the semi-final heat, also won a gold medal. For their achievement at the Olympics, the athletes were dubbed the Golden Girls. Then, in 2012, 1 year after the abduction and murder of 11-year-old Marco Archer, his family expressed disappointment that no steps had been taken to establish a sex offenders registry and Marco's Law. It prompted then National Security Minister Bernard Nottage to insist he would bring more focus on the issue that year.
The problem is that, as you would know, somebody's been charged with his murder, and so that is a matter that is before the courts. And what I am reluctant to do is to do anything that would prejudice the case that we expect to be brought forward to deal with the accused person.
Then, in 2021, demolition began on the Churchill Building. The historic building was where weekly cabinet meetings were once held. In October 2020, then Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis announced plans for a new cabinet office at the existing site in downtown Nassau. Today, the site is now a parking area. Have you ever wished you could take that feeling of vacation home with you long after your trip had ended? Well, that's exactly what the Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board is hoping to accomplish with the launch of their latest initiative, The Sound of Vacation. It's their first new campaign in over 7 years, according to NPIPB CEO Joy Gibberlew, where Bahamian music and musicians will be front and center for guests.
We have worked closely, very quietly, with key Bahamian creatives, music makers, those in the music industry, primarily Lady E, also known as Erica Simonet, Rick Carey, former member, and I think still is, of Baha Men, Ira Store. Most people know Ira Store and the Spine Band. And I found a new Bahamian artist, C-Ray. So they have produced what we're calling the sounds of vacation, the rhythms of the Bahamas.
Gibberlew says the new original songs are part of a playlist available on all major music streaming platforms where visitors can continue listening even after their vacation has ended. As for the songs themselves,
we've started with 3 songs. Lady E, in her own, you just cannot imitate her incredible style. She has created a new version of It's Better in the Bahamas. Her own lyrics, phenomenal, the sound of it. So this will be our masterpiece, of course. Also, Islands in the Sun and Feel That Rhythm. And we have 3 more in the pipeline. So the idea is we are building a library. Just as we have an image library, we will have a music library.
So exciting for all the creatives getting that opportunity. Well, to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. That does it for our news at 7. Joining us now is our Italia Hall with the latest headlines. Italia?
Happy Monday, Marlena.
Happy Monday.
Well, coming up tonight, crime down nationwide, but many residents don't feel safe. Grand Bahama residents face more power disruptions, and Bahari launches its annual breast cancer awareness collection. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on our news live at 7:30, according to the National Security Minister, crime is down by 6%. But do you feel safe? We have public reaction. Plus, we need a new power company in Grand Bahama. Those comments coming from the president of the Coalition of Concerned Citizens amid continuous power outages on that northern island. Also, will there be a sale of the Grand Lucaine Resort soon? We speak with a financial expert straight ahead. And later, an RF Bank and Trust executive gives an update on the local equity market. The story when our news live at 7:30 returns.
I love my EV. I am Generation E.
I am Generation E.
I am Generation E.
And I am Generation E.
I'm Michaela Kerr. I'm an 18-year-old freshman at the University of the Bahamas, and I'm a computer science major. I'm also the NT Corporation's Youth Ambassador for the Environment, and I'm an environmentalist. My journey as an environmental advocate began with a simple yet profound realization that our environment is degrading right in front of my eyes. And being NT's youth ambassador for the environment means that my words and my actions hold the power to help change the environment and the world around me. I find it exciting that I can be a student, live my life, and use my words and my voice to change the environment and world around me. Most times I think it's a privilege. It's our environment and it's our generation to own. I don't think as a young person that there's anything more rewarding than being a part of bringing awareness. I'm Michaela Kerr, and I'm making a difference in my own words.
Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task, unplugging appliances not in use. That's energy conservation. Replacing an old refrigerator or washing machine with a new model. Adding insulation to the attic and walls of a home. That's energy efficiency. People conserve to gain more control over their energy bill and to reduce demand on the Earth's natural resources. Take this journey with us as we build for better. BPL.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall.
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. Well, overall, crime in the country is down from last year, but many residents still don't feel safe. Our Delvardo Emmanuel took to the streets to speak with residents about their concerns.
Crime is not down. All right. The crime situation in the Bahamas right now is out of whack. Our young men, especially, is out of hand. There is no rehabilitative plan in place by either governments or successive governments to curtail this problem.
That's just some of the responses I got when I asked residents how they feel about the crime situation in the country. National Security Minister Wayne Munro revealed in Parliament last week that crime is down by 6% overall, but murders are up 13%. Despite the recently released statistics, residents say they are not buying the numbers.
I don't know what they base it on, because someone is getting killed or someone is getting morgue or someone is getting stopped every day. So how could it decrease? It decreases when nothing is happening.
I can't accept that crime is down. I can't accept that because, you hear stories about things that's happening in our nation that the police for some reason scared to talk about. I think you should, inform the nation, be candid what's happening so we can know what to do.
While there has been a call for more stiffer penalties, these residents say capital punishment is not the solution.
Not hanging. I mean, it should be legal, but at the same time, no. Because most of the time, some of the people who they throw in jail, they innocent people.
There's no specific data that shows that hanging reduces crime. It's a collective problem. All of us as one has to get together as a nation and our leaders and come up with better ways to curtail crime in our country. It affects all of us. It starts from the home and it ends up in society. So we have to get the home in order first, in order for our society to become what we want it to be, somebody sensible, capable, and flexible of living in.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvardo Emmanuel.
Well, a man accused of molesting a mentally incapacitated person has been denied bail. 28-year-old Garnet Edwards allegedly had sex with a mentally impaired person on September 24th. Edwards did not have to enter a plea when he made his first court appearance before senior magistrate Shaker Seville. Bail was denied. He next returns to court on November 29th to receive voluntary bill of indictment papers. Well, a coalition of concerned citizens is once again urging the Grand Bahama Power Company to address ongoing issues at their power plant as residents continue to face significant power outages on the island of Grand Bahama. Just over the weekend, hundreds of homes experienced multiple power interruptions, with some lasting more than 5 hours at a time. This ongoing situation has persisted for months, which is leading to growing frustration among residents. The power company has released load shedding schedules for various areas within the community, but many feel it's still an inconvenience. Coalition President Pastor Eddie Victor expressing concerns about the power company's capacity to meet the island's electricity generation needs. He shares years ago the plant was able to generate more power during a booming economy and questions what is the issue now.
It is catastrophic because if you are generating less electricity now than you were generating years ago, and you're having this type of problem that we never had years ago. There used to be a time where Grand Bahama was truly the model, but we are no longer the model. It is because of a series of bad management decisions that has brought us to this place. And this is why we believe, with many others, that we need another power company on Grand Bahama. And we need that to happen quickly.
The president says the rate application submitted to their regulator should have focused on strategies to reduce the current cost of electricity for residents.
Not only are individuals being impacted like myself, but also the businesses across this island, the hotel industry, all of them are being impacted. Potential investors wanting to come to this island are looking at our electricity rate.
While still on Grand Bahamas, the Davis administration continues discussions with a prospective buyer for the Grand Lucayan Hotel. A financial expert is sharing insights on the potential sale. His comments came during Central Bank's Digital Week Financial Expo. He says it's time that government get the hotel off their hands.
Government acquired it with the expressed intent of having it actually passed on to another developer and hotelier. And unfortunately, that timeline has been far further extended than government had hoped. So when we look at what that has meant for the city of Freeport and the wider island of Grand Bahama, it's meant that we have a tremendous property that has remained dormant and, if you will, undeveloped for an extended period of time. The government really never had the financial resources or intention of itself redeveloping and refurbishing and bringing it back.
The Minister administration purchased the Grand Lucayan Resort from Hutchison Whampoa in August 2018 for over $60 million with hopes of quickly selling the once thriving property. However, that sale did not materialize. Following the victory of the Davis administration in 2021, the government also attempted to sell the resort, but that deal fell through. Last week, Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis said the government should be closing arrangements for the sale of the resort within the next 2 weeks or so. Bo says now is the time for government to find a buyer.
History has shown us that government should not be in the hotel business. We've had the Bahamas Hotel Corporation that was, effectively, for all intents and purposes, disbanded with all of the properties sold. And so we know that we want government exited from this. And I think the opportunity to get a quality buyer that is in the hotel business that can take what is a very beautiful property, if you've ever been to it, sitting on the waterfront, and actually turn it into a productive property. It'll do multiple things. Employment, yes, but the employment is going to come from the actual heads that are going to be in beds.
All right, we now move to an update on the local equity market. In our monthly sit-down interview with RF Bank and Trust VP and Head of Group Investment David Slatter, he reveals this year equity performance is hovering around 4 to 5%, which he says is significantly lower than the historical average of closer to 10%. However, he says fluctuations like these are not uncommon. He also discussed recent developments from the Federal Reserve, which lowered its interest rate this month. Looking ahead, Slatter anticipates further rate decreases moving into 2025. And for those tracking the local stock market, Slatter says as interest rates decline, it could provide a stimulus to the U.S. economy, which ultimately benefits the Bahamas.
I think we're going to be probably around 7 to 8% at the end of the year in the local equity market. Internationally, the U.S. equity market, I think it's hit like its 40-something all-time high so far this year. So it is kind of a little bewildering to me why the U.S. equity market continues to hit all-time highs. I think maybe they're a little over-exuberant there. I mean, there's a multiple we call the P multiple, price to earnings multiple. So for every dollar of earnings, how much are you willing to pay? Right now, the S&P 500 is trading around 27 times earnings, which is very high relative to the historic average of 16. So it's a huge premium over historically what it's done. So I would not be surprised if there wasn't some kind of correction in the U.S. equity markets. And, there's opportunities in other parts of the world. So if you look at, China's had a very strong rebound because of interest rate cut, but also fiscal support announced by their government. So that'll bode. The Chinese stock market is doing well as a result of that. There's opportunities, though. I mean, you always have to bear in mind that there's so many different companies and opportunities that you have to do your homework and find where the value is.
All right, well, warm weather to start off the work week. Wondering what else we can expect this week? Meteorologist Greg Thompson is live in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg, it's hot.
How the song go? Hot, hot, hot?
Hot, hot, hot.
No change in the weather expected for the next couple of days. We are going to still remain in the 90s. Heat indices in the triple digits. Dry air mass in place. High pressure in charge. That's going to be our weather story for the next couple of days. Outside the studios, though, it's 85 degrees with a few clouds. Your winds are out of the east at 7 miles per hour, but the feels-like temperature is in the mid to upper 90s. Satellite and radar composite. High pressure in charge, dry air mass in place, and we are going to continue to see the abundant sunshine. Once again, as I mentioned, heat indices in the triple digits. Asking you and urging you, if you plan on being on the outdoors, do drink lots of water and take some frequent breaks from the shade, as this dry air mass will be with us for the next several days. We will see an increase in some moisture. There's a system in the Gulf of Mexico that could lend us some of that. That should not happen until the end of the week. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us to look at your extended forecast. Still to come.
Still to come on Our News, a key to creating sustainable change. An executive for the Organization for Responsible Governance is calling on Bahamians to get more actively involved in their communities. Plus, the Department of Social Services launches Older Persons Awareness Month. And later, our Danielle Miller has the inside scoop on Bahari's Breast Cancer Awareness Collection when Our News continues.
Hey y'all, are you ready to be inspired? I am thrilled to announce that Inspire Her 2024 is coming, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever. Join us at the luxurious Atlantis Hotel Paradise Island on October 10th for an evening filled with inspiration, empowerment, and connection. The evening session promises to offer exclusive networking opportunities and transformative discussions. We invite everyone to attend and to be part of this incredible gathering. Hear from leading women activists, entrepreneurs, CEOs, thought leaders, and more as they share their stories, insights, and wisdom. Tickets are now available for purchase through the Alive Events app. Corporate packages and vendor opportunities are also available, providing a unique platform for businesses to showcase their support and connect with a diverse audience. Grab your girlfriends, mark your calendars for October 10th, and join us at the Inspire Her 2024 Women's Conference. See you there.
My name is Trevor Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful.
The executive director of the organization responsible for governance, Matt Aubrey, is calling on Bahamians to get more actively involved in their communities, saying it's a key to creating sustainable change. Last year, Aubrey tells us they spoke to thousands of Bahamians throughout the country in hopes of getting the ball rolling.
We've actually then done a lot of investment in going to our communities. Last year we were in 10 different islands and we sat and talked with thousands of Bahamians and asking them really, what are the challenges that you're seeing? What are the issues? What are the priorities? And what's amazing in that discussion is not only do people are able to identify the challenges, but they're also able to identify the solutions. And so facilitating that collective action, the resources and the belief that if we work together, things can change is a really important part of making a sustainable change.
Aubrey says many feel disheartened by the onslaught of issues which are out of their control, issues like the cost of living, crime, or unemployment rates in a post-COVID world. But he says it's vital to know that your voice and input still matters.
Getting involved in your community and joining a not-for-profit organization, working to do something that you can see a tangible benefit for, it builds those muscles of civic participation. And then all of a sudden, now you're thinking a little bit more about, hey, how is this run? How's my community run? How's my island run? How's the country run? And what can I do to make sure that it's going in the right direction? So those are absolutely crucial points we want to reinforce, that your voice can matter, but you also need support. And that's one of the reasons that I think org continues to do the work it does and will continue to invest in going into the communities and helping people to build their skills, to build their advocacy, to build their voice.
October is being recognized as Older Persons Month, and the Department of Social Services is kicking off the month with multiple activities. The International Day of Older People will be recognized on October 1st. The time is to raise awareness of opportunities and challenges faced by aging populations and to mobilize the wider community to address difficulties faced by older people. Acting Minister of Social Services Zane Lightbourne says it was the older people who built the foundation of society and imparted wisdom that guides us, stressing the need for their protection during their later years.
It is only fitting that we step up and support and protect them as they navigate the later or latter part of their years and their lives. First and foremost, protecting our seniors requires cooperation. It is not a task that falls on the shoulders of one individual or one group. It is a collective effort.
The recognition comes days after a man pleaded guilty to raping an 83-year-old woman and was given 8 years in prison. The department has multiple activities plans, including a walkabout to seniors in government public rental, a caregivers symposium, and a seniors cultural day. Lightbourne says families, communities, and institutions must join together to promote supportive environments.
We must consider the fact that our senior citizens are living longer, which means their lives, needs, and challenges evolve over time. This is why it is crucial for us to adopt a collaborative approach just beyond family members that is inclusive of healthcare providers, businesses, food stores, local governments, and community organizations.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When our news comes back from the break, our Daniel Miller has the inside scoop on Bahari's breast cancer awareness collection.
The country mourns the loss of a sports icon, and the WNBA semifinals get going for Jonquil Jones and the New York Liberty.
And Greg is back with your extended weather when our news returns.
My name is Troy Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
When hurricanes and emergencies strike, timely information can save lives. That's why Alive Business brings you bulk SMS messaging, your essential tool for staying informed and safe. Imagine having critical updates and safety tips delivered right to your phone, anytime and anywhere. With bulk SMS messaging, you can send real-time alerts and updates and timely notifications. When every second counts, count on Alive Business bulk SMS messaging. For more information, contact the experts.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
This video.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. A legendary icon whose influence has impacted generations of Bahamians, Keith Parker, has died at 92. A National Hall of Fame member renowned for his contributions to track and field, Parker's connection with the Bahamas began at the 1958 British Empire and Commonwealth Games, competing for England. At those games, he was introduced to Thomas A. Robinson. The following year, he made the move to the Bahamas in 1959 and became fully ingratiated into Bahamian culture for the remainder of his life. Parker taught several subjects at Government High School, and in his days as a competitor, he represented his adopted country in the West Indies Federation Games and held a Bahamian record in both the long jump and javelin. In addition to track and field, he also represented the Bahamas in field hockey, badminton, darts, and squash. His lasting legacy will be as a world-class track and field coach. At the Olympics, he served on 4 national team staff from the 1984 Games in LA to the 2008 Games in Beijing. He also coached teams at 5 IAAF World Championships, 6 Pan American Games, 4 Commonwealth Games, 6 CAC Games, and several Carifta Championships. As a personal coach, Parker has guided the athletics careers of former Prime Minister Perry Christie, former Member of Parliament Bernard Nottage, former women's javelin national record holder Laverne Eve, former women's long jump national record holder Sean L. Ferguson, Olympic medalist Andretti Bain, and World Championship medalist Trevor Barry. Parker served the Ministry of Education as a school inspector and officially became a citizen of the Bahamas in 1984. He was honored in 1978 as a member of the British Empire for community service, was inducted into the B3A's Hall of Fame in 1997, received the International Olympic Committee Diploma in 2001, and in 2010, he was inducted into both the CAC Hall of Fame and the Bahamas National Sports Hall of Fame. The 2023 WNBA Finals rematch got off to a favorable start for Jonquil Jones and the New York Liberty. Jones posted a double-double, 13 points and 12 boards in her Liberty's 87-77 win over the defending WNBA champion Las Vegas Aces Sunday afternoon at the Barclays Center. New York took a 1-0 lead in the semifinals with Game 2 set for Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Jones was also named a WNBA All-Defensive Second Team selection. It was her 4th career All-Defensive Team selection and her first with the Liberty. She was 6th in the league at 9 rebounds per game, 9th at 1.3 blocks per game, and anchored a Liberty defense that had the WNBA's 3rd best defensive rating and held opponents to the lowest average on second chance points per game. Jazz Chisholm Jr. produced career high numbers in the 2024 season. Obviously, it's not done yet. There's still a postseason run in October, but he excelled in the spotlight of the largest media market in the MLB. The season was of course highlighted by his trade from the Miami Marlins to the New York Yankees, but Chisholm's production made him one of the fan favorites in New York. In 147 games this season, he hit .256 with 144 hits, 245 total bases, 24 home runs, 40 stolen bases, 73 RBI, and scored 74 runs. All of these numbers, 8 different stat categories, are new career highs for the Yankee infielder. New York clinched the top overall seed in the American League and will open their postseason run in Game 1 of the divisional series on October 5th against the winners of the Baltimore Orioles versus Kansas City Royals matchup. That'll do it for Our Sports. This is 10YS. There's nothing to watch on Monday night, definitely not football. Everyone just keep it rolling. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News tonight, Bahari launches its annual breast cancer awareness collection. Our Danielle Miller has a story coming up, and Greg is back with your extended weather when Our News returns. Stay with us.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
This is our news. Welcome back. So we are past the climatological peak of the hurricane season, which occurs around the 10th of September. And that's when we normally see a lot of the storms. It seems as though we're going to be moving into October with more systems out there in the open Atlantic, and we are tracking quite a few of them. We've been tracking a few of them over the last couple of days. Right now, we have a couple of systems out there. Well, of course, Isaac is basically gone. We have two systems down in the Eastern Atlantic, and that system is Kirk, which newly formed tropical storm earlier today. That system is packing some tropical storm conditions across there. The thing about this system is so far in the Atlantic, we expect it to strengthen to a Category 3, but it's going to stay out there in the open Atlantic and not pose a problem for anybody out there. And then, of course, we have another system that's right behind that. That's Joyce, which has been downgraded to a tropical depression. It's going to continue to weaken, and we will continue to see that system move away and out in the open Atlantic. Then we're going to concentrate in the Western Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, where the National Hurricane Center is watching that area for some potential development over the next several days. By the end of the week, they possibly could see a system into the Gulf of Mexico. Here at home, high pressure in charge, and we're going to continue the hot temperatures over the next couple of days. Of course, these are the systems out there in the open Atlantic that we are going to continue to watch through the next several days. No moisture in place for us. Ridge of high pressure staying in charge. All the moisture will stay to the north of us. A spotty shower or two that will continue through Wednesday. Then we have an increase in some moisture by the end of the week as that system gets started into the Gulf of Mexico. Of course, boating conditions very nice out there on the waters tonight for all areas. Southeast to southeast winds 10 knots. They will fall light and variable at times. Seas 1 to 3 feet. Tide will be high at 7:20. Low tide takes place at 1:37 in the morning. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, the heat will be with us, a spotty shower or two in the forecast, but those temperatures will stay near the 90-degree mark, and then by the end of the week, we expect those temperatures to be back into the 90s, and those heat indices will be in the triple digits for the balance of the week, so make sure you take the necessary precautions if you plan on being in the outdoors. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. Well, Bahamian luxury clothing brand Bahari officially launching their annual breast cancer awareness collection just in time for the month of October. Eager patrons rushed to the stores and were met with a rich shopping experience. Our Danielle Miller reports.
Bahari Bahamas has labeled the last Friday in the month of September as Pink Friday. It is the launch of their breast cancer awareness collection, and we are here for all of the fabulous details. Partnering with Sister Bahamas, Bahari Bahamas continues to pledge their support to the community. The Bahamian fashion brand wanted to do more than just release the collection in New Providence and Grand Bahama. They were also adamant about giving shoppers an experience which comprised of food, drinks, and a live panel discussion. Throughout the evening, we witnessed dozens of pink bags exit the store, and the walls, once covered in garments, were left bare by the end of the night. As the register racks up in sales, so did the amount of donations that will be given to cancer patients and organizations countrywide.
Last year, they profiled our organization, and they profiled 3 women that were treated through our program. And just like their shirt, they profiled the entire Bahamas. They are not Nassau-centric.
Yvonne Wilson Boodle tells us the comfortable fit is what she enjoys most about the brand. But this collection is also personal for her, as she says the pink hues remind her that she's not just a cancer survivor, but a representation of God's word.
It's a little challenge, but it's an exciting road. Why? Because God has kept me. He has kept me from beginning to this point. And like his word said that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so for me, it's a road of excitement. Without a test, there's no testimony.
All of us have been impacted by breast cancer in some form, whether it's a relative or friend, So we just want to support, and we want to be able to help organizations.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, thanks so much for that, Danny, and thank you for joining us for Our News tonight on behalf of the entire team. I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.